that's a nice bag. I'm gonna use it today.
Sparring, man, it was just really bad because I wanted to impress my father the most. When I didn't perform at my best with him, or if I got hit and I didn't like it and I started crying, I would run away. I literally would run away from my father and everybody. They would look for me. This is me at 8 years old running away, my father having to call the cops, and I put my father through a lot of mess. You know, and I would cry all the time. I would embarrass him because I would cry while he was in the corner. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And that's why I never really liked sparring. It wasn't because of that I wasn't good enough. I believe it was just the fact that I was so hard on myself.
There you go. There you go. You're on another level back there. You gotta relax. You gotta hold your breath.
When you look at how Teofimo Lopez is training for Shakur, you can tell this camp isn't about explosions anymore. It's about surviving his own instincts.
Pero jamás, man.
You gotta listen to my mouth.
I haven't felt.
You need to go to the field and live in that fucking field.
Okay.
Live in it.
Okay.
No motherfucking, no health spa, no freaking none of that shit.
Okay.
No health quest. I want you living in that field. That's all we need, bro.
Coach ain't having it today.
No, bro, because I see what's going on, bro. 1, 2.
Come out with the hook.
Okay.
Slip.
Everything points to one uncomfortable truth he's being forced to accept. Blowing up early doesn't beat Shakur, it just makes you tired in HD. So the work now is ugly on purpose, long pressure rounds where there's no hiding behind big moments. Just constant movement, constant punches, and having to throw even when your legs are asking for mercy.
The hardest parts for me was getting my butt whipped in sparring and losing. I hated losing. I hated failure. I always hated it because like I said before, I wanted to become a perfectionist.
It's the first time I ever felt like so out of it. So out of shape, bro. Like, and it's crazy. We've been working, so I can't quite understand it, but coach is like, we just gotta keep running. You know, I ain't doing enough of it, so. You know, but other than that, you know, it's just part of it. There's a reason why we start, you know, before, you know, we do all this stuff too, you know. Is to make sure that we prevent any of these things happening when it comes to an actual fight.
The biggest change is breaking that habit of cutting the ring, firing one missile, and admiring it like a fireworks show because Shakur eats that alive. Now it's smaller steps, smaller punches, and combinations that don't look flashy but actually do damage over time, even when they hit arms and shoulders. And yeah, that sounds boring until you realize blocked punches still steal space, still close exits, still mess with rhythm. The footwork work is almost comical if you love Teo's highlight jumps, because the rule is basically no leaping allowed, just inching forward like a debt collector who won't leave. Mentally, this camp is probably harder than any weight cut, because Teofimo has to stop thinking knockout and start thinking rounds, which is like telling a sports car to enjoy traffic. He's being trained to change tempo, press without throwing, throw without pressing, and make Shakur uncomfortable without giving him clean reads.
You know, my mind is limitless, though. You know, so then again, it's like I could always succeed to another level with it, you know, and exceed to it. So it's really just trying to just keep it going
You know, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You know, you gotta have fun with what you do. You know, I love this. You know, I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. You know, this has been 20 years in the making.
The early rounds are treated like gold, not because he needs a finish, but because he needs to disrupt confidence before control sets in. The real test isn't whether Teo can hurt Shakur, it's whether he can stay calm when it doesn't work right away. If he chases a moment, he loses. If he accepts being disciplined, messy, and stubborn, he gives himself a real shot.
1, 2. Right hand again. Give me that right hand, baby. Give me that right hand. Don't show it. Right. Don't show it. Okay, go. Go. Come over here. Too fast for me. Go. Come with that. That's it.
And right after breaking down Teofimo's camp, turning him into a pressure accountant instead of a highlight hunter, Dan Rafael steps in and basically reminds us why this fight feels heavier than just tactics on a whiteboard. Dan said something important that people gloss over when they get lost in hot takes.
Teofimo has been a bona fide world champion in 2 divisions. He was the champion at lightweight. Had most of the belts, defeated Lomachenko. He did suffer the upset loss to Kambosos. There were some physical issues there that we didn't know about going into the fight, not to make excuses for him. But regardless, he came back.
Teofimo has a long history of rising when the moment is real. He didn't sparkle after Kambosos, didn't always look sharp, but when Josh Taylor was standing there with real stakes, Teo locked in and delivered. And that matters, because big nights have a way of waking certain fighters up.
And even though maybe he didn't shine and scintillate maybe in some of those fights after that, when it came time to step up and take on the champ, which was Josh Taylor, he shined in that fight. So when Teofimo is matched, in a big time opponent, he's delivered, and he's done it, a number of times.
At the same time, Dan pointed out that Shakur's resume quietly does the same thing, because when pressure showed up screaming that he was boring, Shakur answered by standing in the pocket with Zepeda and basically telling the narrative to sit down. I like how Dan framed it without hype, because it exposes the irony. We act like these guys don't deliver, but every time expectations peak, both of them adjust instead of fold.
But Shakur Stevenson gets the job done. He has won titles from featherweight up to lightweight. When his back was against the wall, quote unquote, and everybody had big expectations. What did he do in his last fight against William Zepeda? He stood in the pocket, he fought the guy, and he won handily. He shut him out, basically. He won like 10 rounds to 2.
When Dan talked about their shared history at Top Rank, the Olympics, the Crawford undercards, that's when this stops feeling like a random matchup and starts feeling inevitable, like 2 timelines finally colliding. And the Garden Point hit for me, because New York doesn't reward nonsense, it rewards control and composure, and that environment is either going to sharpen Teo's pressure or suffocate it.
Teofimo had started off, a little bit heavier than Shakur, but they would eventually catch up to each other. They're both Olympians, by the way. Teofimo he's American, but he fought for his parents' country of Honduras. In that same Olympic Games, it was Shakur Stevenson winning a silver medal for the United States. I mean, they have all kinds of accomplishment. I do think they have a healthy respect for each other.
Dan isn't selling drama, he's selling context, and context is dangerous because it strips excuses away. No weird location, no travel fatigue, no novelty crowd, just 2 elite fighters 5 minutes from home fighting where reputations stick. We keep arguing styles, but Dan is quietly saying this is about credibility. Who actually owns their past accomplishments when the lights are unforgiving? You can joke about boring, you can joke about explosions, but when the bell rings at Madison Square Garden, history doesn't care about your preferences. It only remembers who showed up when the stage finally matched the talk.
This is the kind of fight that belonged in America, and it didn't belong in Las Vegas. It belongs in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Teofimo is from Brooklyn. Shakur is from Newark, New Jersey, which is a 5-minute train ride from Midtown Manhattan. I mean, it's got everything you want to see. The Garden hasn't had a lot of big fights in the main arena over the last few years. The last one they had was the third fight between Katie Taylor and Serrano. But before that, it'd been, a couple years, I think, since they had a main arena fight. So this is a big time fight.
And right after Dan framed this as legacy meeting location and timing, Lonnie B jumps in and rips the conversation straight out of the press row comfort zone because his whole angle is about unpredictability, not resumes. Lonnie said Shakur is flawless, punches flying off the holster with no tells, and that's the kind of compliment that sounds clean, but actually comes with pressure because flawless fighters don't get forgiveness when things go sideways. At the same time, Lonnie kept hammering the point that Teofimo is athletic in a way you can't script. Roy Jones energy, anything can happen at any second energy, and that's where this fight stops being tidy.
Yeah, you got, listen, both are extraordinary talents. Extraordinary talents. Shakur, oh my God, flawless. Don't telegraph his punches. They come right out the holster. They come right out the clip. You got Teofimo, who's extremely athletic. He reminds me of Roy Jones. You never know what he's gonna do. And it's kind of hard to train for somebody like that because you don't know what Teo's gonna show up.
I loved how Lonnie kept saying you never know which Teo shows up, not as an excuse, but as a warning, because the version that rose up against Josh Taylor didn't ask for permission, he just took the night over. And when Lonnie said Teo fights to the level of his competition, that hit, because Shakur is the kind of opponent who forces you to either level up or look ordinary in slow motion. Lonnie also slipped in something crucial that people gloss over. Shakur can't afford to chill on the ropes in this one, because once Teo gets comfortable, he turns into a moving problem with confidence attached. That's not fear talk, that's rhythm talk.
Josh Taylor.
Okay.
Look what he did to Josh Taylor. Oh my God. I mean, just playing with him. Just hitting him with big shots, just doing whatever he wants, styling on him. So you can never count Teo out. You can never count Teo out, man. He's, like I said, an extraordinary talent, but so is Shakur. I do think Shakur can't lay on the ropes like he do. I think Shakur he got to be a lot more active this fight. Because once you let Teo get in this groove, he's a hard train to stop, man. And he's athletic. You never know what he's gonna do.
What really stuck with me was Lonnie refusing to pick a winner, calling it a coin flip. Not because he's unsure, but because he sees this as a will fight disguised as skill. He said it straight, this isn't about who's prettier technically, it's about who has that Jordan, Kobe, I'm not losing tonight switch. And I agree with him there because both guys are elite, both guys are special, but only one of them is going to impose their will when comfort disappears. You can game plan all you want, but once that bell rings, somebody's identity is getting tested in real time, and that's why Lonnie didn't blink at 50-50th. That wasn't fence sitting, that was respect for how thin the margin really is.
But I'm looking forward to seeing it. I can't wait to see it. I got it a 50-50 fight, depending on who can impose their will.
50-50?
Yeah, I got it 50-50.
We don't got who gonna win? We can't go 50-50. Somebody gotta win it. This ain't not gonna be no draw.
See, like I'm just like I can't pick a winner because it's like I can see Shakur winning it. And I also can see Teo winning it.
Okay.
Then I can see Shakur winning it. Then I can see Teo winning it. Then it's like, well.
And right after Lonnie framed this as a coin flip war of will, Zab Judah storms in and basically flips the table because he's not debating outcomes, he's declaring physics. Zab said flat out that Teofimo can't beat what he can't hit. And that line isn't trash talk, that's a veteran's curse. When Zab talks about Shakur like he's moving in and out of the matrix, I don't hear exaggeration, I hear someone who's lived in those exchanges and knows what it feels like when punches keep missing by inches and your confidence starts buffering. Zab isn't questioning Teo's talent at all. He's questioning the compatibility because he keeps coming back to style, not resumes. He said Shakur breaks fighters down, not emotionally, structurally, piece by piece. And that's scary because Teo feeds off rhythm and reaction. Zab also leaned hard into Shakur's mental steadiness, pointing out that he doesn't swing between nights, he doesn't show up distracted, he doesn't unravel. And that's a direct contrast to the volatility everyone keeps tiptoeing around with Teofimo.
Teo's a good fighter, but this type of style Teo possesses, you're gonna break him up. You're gonna break him up. You can't beat what you can't hit. You can't. This is impossible. That boy ain't nothing to f around with.
Right.
Poor boy, he's selling out of the Matrix Part 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. He you know what I'm saying? He pulling shit away and hit you with. Well, come on. I'm loving him. He's dope. I mean, I always spoke highly of him. Always.
And when Zab brings up the Garden, that's not geography, that's energy. Newark, Brooklyn, New York, Jersey, winter coats, packed house, no neutral crowd, just pressure everywhere you step. He even tied it to that Bud Crawford mindset, that we don't do normal things mentality, and I laughed because it really does feel like that camp operates like they're daring boxing to catch up. Zab wasn't predicting a brawl, he was predicting suffocation, the kind where Teo keeps loading up and Shakur keeps slipping out like the floor is moving. And I love how Zab didn't hedge, didn't 50-50 it, didn't play polite analyst. He said dismantle, and while that sounds extreme, it tells you how confident he is in Shakur's control when styles clash this clean.
Buddy McGirt says it has to happen in the Garden. What do you think?
100%. That only makes sense. That only makes sense. That's a Garden 100% fight. Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. That's all of New Jersey, because Shakur represents more than Newark. You know, he was the whole New Jersey and then the whole New York clashing in New York City. I like it at the Barclays.
You and I can debate power, explosiveness, moments, but Zab is basically saying moments don't matter if access is denied. If Teo can't touch him, everything else is just noise. So when you stack all of this together, you start seeing the real shape of this fight. Teofimo is training to fight his instincts. Shakur is built to punish them, and every voice we heard just sharpened that tension from a different angle. Dan framed it as legacy and timing. Lonnie framed it as will versus unpredictability. And Zab cut straight to the uncomfortable math of access and control. One guy is trying to manufacture chaos without losing himself. The other is trying to turn chaos into routine. This isn't hype versus hate or boring versus exciting. It's discipline colliding with volatility under the brightest lights possible. Every round asks the same quiet question: who stays themselves when the plan starts wobbling? That's why this fight doesn't feel settled, no matter how many takes you hear, because it lives in margins, patience, and moments that don't announce themselves. Now drop your thoughts in the comments, really debate it, and yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.